Tune in every Monday morning at 10 for Get in the Know with host Marley B, providing the city of Highland Park news, information, and entertainment. Find out what's happening in Highland Park from the city's movers and shakers. Get in the Know with Marley B, Monday mornings at 10, right here on WHPR.
As a single mother, my first job is care about Derek. Everything that I do is from him. When I moved to Philadelphia and this apartment, after 6 months, we need to connect with the world. I use the internet to keep him in a language because that's the way to get connected with my family tradition. He has to know where he comes from. We need internet essential. There's no excuses to not get connected.
And welcome to your very own TV show, Get in the Know. I am your host, Marley Blackman. Marley B, that's me. I'm also your press secretary for the city of Highland Park, giving you the information that you need to know, you deserve to know, and you want to know. Today, as always, we have a great show lined up. We have our wonderful Mayor Hubert Yap on. He's going to, as promised in our town hall meeting, answer some of the questions that you had at the town hall meeting, as well as give you a city update. So we're going to enjoy that for the first 15 minutes of our show. And then I have a special guest joining me today, Michael Caston. We're going to talk about the Black households then and now, the difference and what we need to do to get Black households back to what they used to be. So stay tuned in, stay locked in, and we'll be right back.
Tune in every Monday morning at 10 for Get in the Know with host Marley B, providing the city of Highland Park news, information, and entertainment. Find out what's happening in Highland Park from the city's movers and shakers. Get in the Know with Marley B, Monday mornings at 10, right here on WHPR.
As a single mother, my first job is care about Derek. Everything that I do is from him. When I moved to Philadelphia and this apartment, after 6 months, we need to connect with the world. I use the internet to keep him in a language because that's the way to get connected with my family tradition. He has to know where he comes from. We need internet essential. There's no excuses to not get connected.
Welcome back to your very own TV show, Get in the Know. I am your host, Marley Blackman. Marley B, that's me. Giving you the information you need to know, you want to know, and you deserve to know. And the man of the hour, the man of the city is joining me, Mayor Hubert Yap. We're going to answer some of the questions that you had at the town hall meeting that was on Wednesday, March the 28th. Hopefully you were in attendance. And if not, we're going to give you a little information that we talked about at the town hall meeting, as well as give you a city update. Welcome, sir. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing well. Good. Monday morning. It's sun outside. It's going to be, 70 degrees today? Did you bring the sun?
Good day.
You brought the sun?
I certainly did.
We need it.
Been praying for it.
We need it. So you held your town hall meeting for the year 2018. I know people have been wanting for you to do that. They've been waiting on that. They wanted to know, some of the things that's been going on in the city. Do you want to give us a brief update as to what's happening in the city right now?
Well, yeah, I've been working diligently with a number of organizations, DTE, DPW, MCA, our engineering firm.
Okay.
I guess I should start with the fact that I flew to Washington on March the 11th.
Okay. Right before the town hall meeting. Good.
Yes.
Good job. Okay.
So I met with Senator Debbie Stabenow and Senator Gary Peters and other mayors from around the country. The session with the mayors was primarily infrastructure, education, funding.
Yes.
And afterwards, I had sessions with the senators, and I talked about Highland Park and our needs,
Wonderful.
our underground infrastructure, how important it was. You see, we have a water system that's not under our control at this time.
Not our own anymore, yes.
The Great Lakes Water Authority provides water, but we have underground piping that must be replaced. It's urgent that we replace it. And we have MCA, engineering firm, that's been working to replace it. We have about 55 miles of underground piping that's got to be replaced.
Yes.
And what they're doing is they've spent in the area of $10 million, but we have a long way to go yet. Those pipes, some of those underground pipes are still wooden, believe it or not, from 1918. And they're doing a grand job of trying to find funding, and in the interim, I'm trying to get help from Washington because I've been to the governor's office several times, and the governor didn't provide the help that we needed.
So let's talk about that. We want to really get to the bottom of that. How there's so many cities in Michigan, right? And Highland Park obviously is one of them, and other cities get their fair share of funding. Why is it so hard, or would you say that it's more difficult for us to get funding for the city of Highland Park versus other cities?
Yes, it is more difficult. We've been under the emergency management system for many years. And I recall one of the managers that came to our city, and he made a statement that he was going to sell our water plant.
Okay.
We called the treasurer in Lansing immediately, and they removed the emergency manager immediately because I think he let the cat out the bag.
Okay.
The water system was one of the most important entities in our city, and now we don't have it. But Highland Park is a never say die kind of city.
Right.
We are fighting this. We are a vibrant city. We are making progress. We're handling lawsuits, and we have a major lawsuit. When we disconnected our water system from Lake St. Clair
Yes.
and hooked up with the Great Lakes Water Authority, it was a disaster. From what I have been given, we didn't pay Great Lakes Water Authority the money they thought we should have, but we did pay.
Okay.
And it's in litigation now. And
Yeah. So not to cut you off, but let's talk about that a little bit too. So it was known that Highland Park did not pay its bills, and that's not true. You have proof of and records showing that we have paid our bills. But to the world, it's known that we don't pay our bills. How do you feel about that, sir?
well, I think that it's a bad rap on the city.
Yes.
And most generally, when you get that kind of rap, there's a purpose. There's a motive behind that.
Yes.
And Highland Park's not going to fold, I can tell you that.
Okay.
But the thing is that we have paid our bills, but obviously not to the extent that the Great Lakes Water Authority think we should have.
Okay.
But I took records and receipts
Yeah.
and canceled checks to the governor's office to show them,
To show proof.
to show proof.
Absolutely.
And the governor, in turn, did not act on it, but the state owes Highland Park money for stormwater runoff. Back to 1986,
Okay.
our engineers confirmed it, and in the area, $28 million. We didn't get that kind of money.
Okay.
I think we may have gotten $1 million, but the state urges municipalities to pay your bills. How about the state paying your bills?
Absolutely.
You know,
So what are we doing about that? How are we going to receive the money from the state? What are we doing?
Well, the state agreed to that minimum amount, like I said, about $1 million.
Okay.
And legally, I think we're at a standstill where that's about all we can do. I would think that Governor Snyder, who's on his last leg, and I understand he's got a rainy day fund of about $1 billion. Governor, you need to walk out the door by helping these indigent cities, Highland Park, Pontiac, Ecorse, all these cities that need your help.
Yeah.
Be that good guy and take some of that rainy day money and help these cities get on their feet.
Yeah.
We can do it.
Yeah.
We are on our way up without the help, but it would certainly be more helpful if you would give us our just due.
I agree. I agree. Have you ever thought about rallying up with the other mayors of those cities that you just mentioned and marching up to Lansing and demanding some respect?
Well, we've done that. We've had rallies, but if you noticed, under this governor, rallies don't move this guy.
Yeah.
I've spoken to the mayor of Flint, I've met with most mayors in the region,
Yeah.
and we've talked about strategies, but the strategies just haven't worked with Mayor Snyder.
No. Okay. All right. All right. So, what are some of the other things? I know we talked about the infrastructure of our city. We talked about the water. Do you want to elaborate a little bit more on those two things before we move to the next?
Well, with our water system, we have our engineering firm that's putting in meters
Yeah.
that can meter how much water, how much sewer. And we've never had that before, so it's quite obvious that DWSD and GLEWA were just making up prices. They would charge us what they wanted to charge us.
Treating us
But-
like the redheaded stepchild, eh?
Yes, and now that we're putting in the meter system, we can gauge how much we're using. And if we get our water system back up and running, we have some say. We have control over the water rates.
Yeah.
And with the sewer, of course, that with the metering system, we should be fine. And
Okay. Okay. All right. Perfect. So, what's the next item on the agenda, sir?
well, just some of the priorities, that lawsuit was one of them, but I'd like to see our school system up and running, and I've been going to meetings with the manager, the state manager, and the local school board president,
Yeah.
Miss Alexis Ramsey. There was a meeting last week at Barber School, and I urge all the citizens in this city, go to those meetings, have your say. After the fact, it's too late.
Yeah.
Go and have your say. If you got ideas, express them at the meetings and let them be entertained.
How would they find out about these meetings? Can we post them on our website, on the city's website, or is there
We
another way?
could, but as most of you know, the mayor, I have no authority in the school system.
Okay.
I can only go and recommend as you as a citizen.
Yes.
But I'd say stay in touch with your local school board,
Okay.
and they can give you an agenda.
Okay.
I'd
Perfect.
also like to let people know that we haven't forgotten about illuminating our city. As you know, and I'll refresh your memory, our monthly light bill was $90,000.
Yeah.
We couldn't afford it. Now it's around $15,000 a month. That's how we're going to make our city a vibrant city and return to excellence, is budgeting and affording what you can afford.
Yes.
Work within your budget, and that's what we're trying to do. But ladies and gentlemen, we are getting there.
We're getting there.
We're getting
We're
there.
getting there. All right.
Yep.
We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with Mayor Hubert Yap, and we're going to talk a little bit more about the plans for the city and our direction and everything that we're doing. So stay tuned and stay locked in, and we'll be right back.
Tune in every Monday morning at 10 for Get in the Know with host Marley B, providing the city of Highland Park news, information, and entertainment. Find out what's happening in Highland Park from the city's movers and shakers. Get in the Know with Marley B, Monday mornings at 10, right here on WHPR.
As a single mother, my first job is care about Derek. Everything that I do is from him. When I moved to Philadelphia and this apartment, after 6 months, we need to connect with the world. I use internet to keep him in a language because that's the way to get connected with my family tradition. He has to know where it comes from. We need internet essential. There's no excuses to not get connected.
And welcome back to your very own TV show, Get in the Know. I'm your host, Marley Blackman. Marley B, that's me. I'm also your press secretary for the City of Highland Park, and joining me today is the man of the city, Mayor Hubert Yap. How are you, sir?
I'm fine,
Good.
thank you.
Thank you so much for being on your show today. You guys can expect to see him at least twice a month, right? Giving updates to the residents? I
would like to be in touch with the community and answer your questions and give you updates on our progress.
Okay, perfect. And as always, you can always call us at 313-868-0342 live right here in the studio. If you have any questions that you want answered right away, and also the number is on the bottom of the screen, so you can always call in and we will talk to you right here live on the air. So we were talking about the infrastructure, we're cleaning up the city, illuminating the city, and you want to say some more about the illumination of the city.
Yes, that we have not overlooked that. It's very important that we have proper illumination of our city because we have single females going to work at different hours.
You want to keep them safe, absolutely.
That's right. Afternoon shift, we got single female heads of households. We consider all these factors when we make decisions about moving our city forward. I'd also like to see, or like you to know, that we're not overlooking our library. It's very important that we open our library, continue to make efforts. And the library is so important nowadays for our children, for the education, because of the technological requirements. You know, a lot of homes don't have computers. We need to afford our children computers and the internet to do their homework. I watched a number of schools and their requirements. The homework is done on the computer now and not just going to the library and manually doing it. But we want to make sure that we provide our children the necessities to get a good education.
Yeah, and so with the city, with Comcast coming into the city of Highland Park, they have some, it's called Essentials, Comcast Essentials, and it allows the Highland Park residents to receive internet in their homes for $9.99 a month, which is very, very reasonable. As well as if you have a school-age child in your household, you could receive a laptop as well. So I really would encourage you. We had Comcast on the show, and they explained to our residents and our viewers how they can actually obtain a computer and how they can actually obtain the internet in their homes. But if you guys missed that show and you need more information about that, just call Comcast, 1-800-COMCAST, and let them know that you're a resident of the city of Highland Park and that you are interested in receiving internet and a laptop in your home. Don't worry about credit restrictions or anything like that. They are absolutely just allowing you to be able to have that service. And if you have any additional questions about that, you can call me at 313-868-0342. So, and you can always view us on Comcast now that it's in Highland Park on channels 90 and 91.
Very good.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that you mentioned that because I had spoken to a number of citizens about that who don't have computers.
Yes.
And that's valuable information.
Yeah, yeah. It's important. I mean, that's the way of the world. So I'm glad that Comcast is here and providing that service to our residents.
You know, I'm continuing to receive calls from Washington, Debbie Stabenow, and Gary Peters, and they have committed themselves to Highland Park, and they're following up. Our engineering firm sat at the round table the other day on a conference call with them, and they are truly showing an interest in moving Highland Park forward.
That's amazing.
It is amazing.
That's amazing.
We would think that our governor would have done the same thing, but we're not going to let one person stop the show.
Absolutely. One monkey doesn't stop a show, especially not in Highland Park.
Absolutely.
We don't let anyone stop our show, right?
You know, I'd like to also, while we're here, I want to thank those that have participated and volunteered their time in our centennial year. From 1918 to 2018, 100 years of Highland Park. There are people that live in the city and don't live in the city that have agreed and volunteered their time. I just want to thank all of you that's doing that and helping us move forward. It takes our whole community to make this thing go.
Yeah, I agree. Are there any other points about DPW has been cleaning up the streets?
Absolutely.
That's great.
Absolutely. Our director, Willie Faison, I compliment him. I can't say enough about him.
Yeah.
Our alleys, for the first time in 40 to 50 years, are being pushed.
That's amazing.
In fact, if and there's a number of people that have complimented the city. our alleys, but it's so important because you got emergency equipment, ambulance, fire, police.
They need to have access.
Got to have access to those alleys.
Yeah.
And I also want to thank DTE for coming into our city, and they are trimming the trees and cutting that growth away from the wires.
Yeah.
Do you know that those trees are normally the cause for power outages?
Wow.
And so they're doing a great job in the city. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot going on. You may not see it, and you may not think it's going fast enough, but you got to do it the right way to sustain it.
Yeah.
Now, we got the underground infrastructure. People ask me, why don't you pave the street? Does it make sense to pave the street and you have a water main break a week later, you got to dig that road up?
Right.
We have to
And
do
spend
it.
more money, more
Absolutely.
resources.
We got to do it the right way,
Yeah.
and I'm proud of MCA, DPW, CED, all the units, fire, police. We're doing a great job in Highland Park, and you need to look around and look at the progress.
Yeah. All right. All right. So when do you have anything else there on your agenda?
Nothing other than the fact I got to continue to speak about voting. It's so important that we vote. We can't let anyone take our vote away from us.
Yes.
The people of Highland Park got out and voted for charter revision. And we selected a commission, a charter commission. We paid thousands of dollars of citizens' tax dollars to get that charter revised and to get it done. The governor wrote a letter, and so did the attorney general, wrote a letter to Highland Park stating that the charter was ready to go on the ballot and for the people to vote to
Yeah.
receive it. I'm waiting for the city clerk to put that on the ballot. And I'm hoping that we don't interfere with a right that so many people have died for, to vote.
Yes.
We must honor that. And the city clerk needs to put this on the ballot, and let's get it moving.
All right. All right. So we're going to just go over a couple of the questions. So during the town hall meeting, some of the residents wrote in and wanted to know a few things. So one of the questions, how do you select the people you appoint to the board and commissions? And so your answer was during our city council meetings and other community meetings, such as but not limited to block club meetings, they are all posted on bulletin boards and on our website, highlandparkmi.gov. So that's how we get the
And
information
I'd like
out.
to add that at city council meetings, I announce it at city council meetings as well.
Okay. All right. And then the other question was, do you have an application that can be filled out by people who want to be on the board or commission? If not, why not? If so, where can that application be found?
That was a proposal that I accepted, and we are going to prepare applications, and we'll have them available probably at the front desk,
Okay.
and we can also avail them at the city council meeting.
Okay. All right. Another question was, why don't you also have these town hall meetings online so people can be able to physically attend them? If people that can't physically attend them can at least watch them in real time. The answer was all of our public meetings after this one can be viewed on Facebook Live, which we can do that.
Absolutely. That's a program we're implementing at this time.
Okay. And then another question was, TIFA get money for the downtown district. Why haven't you had them clean up and keep up Woodward from Davison to Manchester? And so it says TIFA, the answer is TIFA draws funds from taxes in the TIFA district only, which is to be used for development and community activation events. We keep all TIFA properties clean.
Absolutely. We want to keep our city clean, and I must say this. I'll revert back to the fact that Willie and DPW and his crew is sweeping the alley. You need to cut your overhang on your back fence to
Okay.
keep it clean. And once we clean it, if we don't work hard to keep it clean, then what's the use? Secondly, I want every citizen in this community to keep an eye out for those people dumping. Call the
That's very
police.
important.
Call
Absolutely.
the police. I was out in the city this weekend just riding around looking. There's so much blight and dumping in the city, and we know that someone saw something.
Yes.
Just call the police and report it. Don't put yourself in jeopardy trying to stop them. Just call the police.
Got it. All right. Last question. How much money has been returned because TIFA has not spent the money? And this comes from TIFA. TIFA is a DDA that draws down funds once a year from the city to go towards community developments. No funds are ever returned.
That's correct. We
Okay.
never return funds.
Okay. Okay. Wonderful. Would you like to add anything, sir?
Well, just that we're going to be talking to you at least once or twice a month on this show.
Yes.
And any questions you have, you can send them in to my secretary, Miss Ruth Harlan, and her phone number is at 313-252-0050, extension 204.
Wonderful.
252-0050, extension 240.
All right.
And we'll answer your questions and get you the data that you want.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, sir, for being on and talking to your residents.
Thank you
And
for having
we
me.
love always having you. It's always a blast. You guys, if you have any other questions and or concerns, you can always reach the mayor or Ruth Harlan, his executive assistant at City Hall. And he just gave you the number, 313-252-0050, extension 240.
240.
Miss Ruth Harlan. Thank you so much. We'll be right back to talk about the Black household and how we can bring it back to what it used to be then versus now. We'll be right back.
Tune in every Monday morning at 10 for Get in the Know with host Marley B. Providing the city of Highland Park news, information, and entertainment. Find out what's happening in Highland Park from the city's movers and shakers. Get in the Know with Marley B. Monday mornings at 10, right here on WHPR.
As a single mother, my first job is care about Derek. Everything that I do is from him. When I moved to Philadelphia and this apartment, after 6 months, we need to connect with the world. I use the internet to keep him in a language because that's the way to get connected with my family tradition. He has to know where he comes from. We need internet essential. There's no excuses to not get connected.
Welcome back to your very own TV show, Get in the Know. I'm your host, Marley Blackman. Marley B, that's me. And I'm always giving you the information you want to know, you need to know, and you deserve to know. I'm so thankful that our wonderful Mayor Hubert Yap was able to join us this Monday morning. He's planning on joining us a couple of times a month just to kind of give you community updates. So look forward to seeing him on our show at least a couple of times a month, every Monday from 10 to 11. Right now, I have joined me Mr. Michael Caston, and we're going to talk about the Black family, restoring the Black family and the Black household and what that means for our future then versus now. How are you, sir?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for coming on to the show.
Pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
All right. So you have so much to say. We were in a conversation and we were talking about restoring the Black families and I don't want to say Black love, but really Black families and the Black household. Right now, it seems like there's a lot of things going on as far as with mental health, mental wealth, educating our kids, broken households. It seems like the household back in the 80s, the 70s are way different than 2018. What's your comments on that?
Well, in my generation, I've seen a lot of things change.
Okay.
Compared to when my mom was younger. I see one thing that I noticed that really divided the Black homes was a lack of education as well as government assistance.
Okay.
I mean, back then a lot of people didn't really depend on it, more than they depend on it now.
Okay.
And I think
depends on Black government assistance.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
And when I say that, defining that, saying that when you deal with a certain generation that really depends on something, then it has a weakness on the man.
Okay.
So once they delivered and said, you know what, we're going to put something in the neighborhoods with government assistance as far as welfare, a lot of women said, you know what, I don't really need a man because
Okay.
if this can take care of me, then what do I need that man for?
Okay. Do you think that basically what I'm picking up on is that you're thinking that the government has helped to assist break down the Black household
Correct.
by providing additional assistance
Correct.
for the woman in the household?
Yes, ma'am.
Why do you think that that initially took place in the beginning. If the black household was being provided for by the man initially, why would the government need to step in and assist?
You know, Marley, being out of public, and I have 2 children myself. You know, it's a certain type of a love that when you see a unit of a black love, you know, you see a wife and a father, a husband, as well as 2 kids. When you're out of public, it catches the eye.
Yeah.
So if you can divide that, then there's no conquering.
Yeah.
You know, and the first thing that you take away is the man,
Okay.
because he's the head.
Okay.
And when you do that, the children has nothing to look up to.
Okay.
So it's like, kind of like a trickle down effect. Have you ever been in a situation to where you actually went into a store and you see a couple as if they looked like they were like on the Cosby Show,
Okay.
and you look like, oh my God, they just look like they're just powerful, they dynamic,
Yeah.
and everybody's happy.
Yes.
You don't see that anymore.
Okay.
You know, when I'm in public, I see a man, you know, walk 20 feet in front of his lady, and she's trying to look at him. He's looking back, and it's like, you know, we're not on the same level. And then the kids grow up and they do the same thing.
So you're saying that what's the appropriate way for it to happen, for a woman and a man to walk side by side?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you think that it's necessary to always hold hands?
It's the most sweetest thing if you can hold hands, and that shows that when society looks at that, they know that you guys are on the same accord.
Okay. Okay. That's good information. So when you, right now today, 2018, households are broken. Women are educated. They are making way more than the man. It's harder for a man to find valuable employment. So it gives the woman a sense of leadership herself. And so she dominates the household,
Right.
which forces the man out of the household. And that's what's breaking the household down.
Yes, I agree.
Okay.
There's this thing that I witnessed in one situation to where the young lady told her son to basically play. He can continue to play the game, and she told the young lady, "You know what? I want when you grow up, I don't want you to depend on a man."
Okay.
So the roles have changed,
Yeah.
meaning that women are building their women up, their young girls up to where they don't need a man, and basically cater to
I see what you're saying.
the young guys to say that, you know what, I just want you to sit at home and just play the game all day, but then I want this woman to be independent to where she don't need a man. The signals have changed. You ask a kid nowadays to take out a trash, they look at you like you're crazy. Because they don't know inside their hearts that, you know what, in order to become a man, you got to have some type of responsibility.
Yeah.
And it starts now.
Right. Do you think that there's a lot of women who are raising young boys to be men? Do you think without a man in the household, do you think that that's going to play a big difference in how that man grows up?
Yes, because you have to have morals. And one thing I had a stepfather, and my stepfather, you know, he wasn't really big on showing me how to love, but
Yeah.
he knew he wanted to show me, okay, when you're out on your own, this is how you really treat a woman, and at the same time, you be independent and know how to be a gentleman. It's amazing how you can go out in public and the average guy don't even really have an intellect conversation with a young lady.
Okay.
You know, it's either touchy-feely or it's just to the point where it's very disrespectful.
Yes, I
And,
agree.
And it's like women, they're looking for love, but at
Yeah.
the same time, young men are looking for respect.
Okay.
So it's like a crazy cycle.
So how do you think that, so then you're saying we're talking about men really led the household because they were providers.
Correct.
They brought the bread to the household,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
So now we're saying that women don't need that. We don't need you in the household because we can make our own bread, bring it home, cook it, and do everything we
Sure.
need to do, right? So that's a divide. How do we bridge that back together? Because we're saying that it's only happening in the black household.
Yes.
How do we get back to what we really need to be doing?
I think that we have to promote young love again. I mean, one of the shows that I mentioned earlier was one of my favorites was the Cosby Show.
Okay.
I mean, when I seen how they were able to orchestrate their families, and it was never an argument, and if it was, the kids didn't know about it. You have to put down social media. That's one thing. To the point where when you're going through something, you can't allow the world to see it. One thing I learned my grandmother always did. When her and my granddad had a problem, and we had family over, you never knew the grandma was angry. She was mad.
Okay.
Until we left. That's when she called granddaddy in the back, and she said, well, you know what? You know what you did last night wasn't right.
Okay.
But we didn't see that. Nowadays, a lot of people don't have grandmothers, grandfathers to show them that.
Okay.
So when the first time we get into an argument, we got to put social media involved. You know, I'm going through something just to get a like. And people really don't care. They just want to be nosy. Then they
Yeah.
hit you with this thing that show, well, we're going to pray for you.
Yeah.
Are people really praying for you, or are they really praying on your downfall?
Right.
So when I see most people put black love on the internet and say, you know, I really love my lady, I really appreciate her, we need to do more of that.
More of that. I agree. So if we did all of that, you think that we could start seeing some more uniteness in
Definitely.
the black households and
Definitely.
black families?
And it starts with our sisters to say that, you know what, when a brother's going through something, you know, you encounter, you let him know that, you know, hey baby, I love you, or, you know, how was your day today?
Yeah.
Instead of beating him when he's already down. You know, we go through a lot as being young brothers in the society.
Mm-hmm.
So for us to come home and try to find peace,
Yeah.
and our sisters looking at us like, well, what's the next move? You know,
What are
well,
you gonna
DT,
do?
yeah, DT need to be paid, or consumers.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about that. It's about caressing me and say, you know what, babe, no matter what we're going through, I want to let you know that I'm here for you.
Right.
And in that way, when we go out in the world, we know how to deal with the world. That's why so many young brothers are angry now. We want to cry, but we're afraid to cry because the world's looking at us to the point where you can't cry. If you cry, you're weak. I remember watching a situation with Tyrese,
Okay.
and he was concerned about his daughter.
Yeah.
And he just broke down and he was just crying, you know, because he was concerned.
Mm-hmm.
The internet bashed him about that because he was literally crying tears.
Mm-hmm.
So now we built up in all this anger, and this is where you design mental health.
Mm-hmm.
We got to let it out somewhere.
You have to let it out somewhere. But I think with the situation with Tyrese is that, you know, he put it out there for the world to see.
Right.
He put it out there for him to be bashed and things like that. If he had cried in the privacy of his own home, then we wouldn't even be having this conversation.
Exactly.
So I think it's the way that he did it. Not that he did it, but
Okay.
it's the way that he did it.
Okay. I can see that happening.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
he's a little over the top.
Yeah, he can be sometimes. He can be sometimes.
He's a little over the top. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back talking about the black household, black love, and black families. If you have any questions or comments you want to chime in, you can know how to reach us. The number's always at the bottom of the screen. Stay tuned and stay locked in. We'll be right back.
Tune in every Monday morning at 10 for Get in the Know with host Marley B. Providing the city of Highland Park news, information, and entertainment. Find out what's happening in Highland Park from the city's movers and shakers. Get in the Know with Marley B. Monday mornings at 10, right here on WHPR.
As a single mother, my first job is care about Derek. Everything that I do is from him. When I moved to Philadelphia and this apartment, after 6 months, we need to connect with the world. I use internet to keep him in a language because that's the way to get connected with my family tradition. He has to know where it comes from. We need internet essential. There's no excuses to not get connected.
And welcome back to your very own show, Get in the Know. This is your show for the city of Highland Park. I am just your host, and I am Marley B. I am also your press secretary for the city of Highland Park, giving you the information that you need to know, want to know, and deserve to know. If you ever have any questions or have any concerns or want me to talk about something that's affecting you or your city, please don't hesitate to give me a call at 313-868-0342. I am here for you. And I want you guys to continue to join me and my guest, Mr. Michael Caston. We're talking about black love, black families, and how we get that back to being something that we really need, right?
Yes.
We're seeing a lot of disruptiveness in the households, and it's spilling out into the world, into the communities where there is just a lot of incarceration. There's a lot of broken education. There's a lot of things that's not making people whole, especially our black men.
Right.
So we just want to talk about, how do we get back to that? You were mentioning when we were off the air, empowering. So what do you think about empowering young men?
When I say empowering, young men, they need that. First of all, I want to say that, I was one of the individuals that grew up on 6 Mile and Jardin, and
Okay.
I knew that challenging areas. But what I learned that, when you want love and you want to be a leader, You have to be around positive leaders.
Okay.
And that's one thing that I designed just to do for myself. And I learned that when I was crying out for love, I went to individuals and I let them know that this is what I need. This is the missing piece in my life. And I was able to do that. And once I found the concept of it, I was able to go back to the neighborhoods and show young people that, this is how it feel to be loved.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the things that I really cater to.
Okay. All right. Wonderful. What about romance?
Romance. We live in a generation that 2018, I don't think a lot of people even know what romance is.
How do you know about romance?
I'm old school. I have an old soul, man.
Okay.
When I'm alone, I'm vibing to like oldies, like Marvin Gaye, Teddy Pendergrass. I still got that. So that educated me on basically what a woman really wants and what she really needs.
Okay.
Versus what today's music is teaching us. It's really not really saying anything.
Yeah.
It's basically like I'm doing all the shopping. And I'm just basically trying to build confidence on just shopping.
Yeah.
But back then it meant something.
Yeah.
Like Teddy Pendergrass, turn off the lights.
Uh-huh.
Come a little closer.
Uh-huh.
Guys don't know that now, and they're gonna have swag.
Uh-huh.
So when you put all that into one category, you're a dangerous brother.
All right. So are you saying that could be the new cool thing?
What's that?
Just being, just being true to who you are, being romantic,
Yes,
being a real man.
It's what's happening.
That could be the cool thing. You can set a new trend.
I can listen. I can do this thing. And if they allow their minds to be educated.
Yeah.
And I'm only 33, Marley.
Okay.
So it's not too late.
Okay.
But young guys got to take it in. They got to take it in, and women love that. Women want to be caressed.
Right.
But it's just the way that the media and everything puts out to where it's like everybody's for themselves.
Yes. I agree. Well, you're a sharp dresser. Do you think you can teach people how to dress as well?
I would love it. I mean, I thought about teaching a class.
Okay.
I really did.
You should. You definitely should. So how do you? So when you see a young man and he's sagging and he's not put together well and he's just walking around, his hair is all over his head, does it make you cringe? Because I know when I see it, it makes me cringe.
It makes my heart bleed.
Okay.
Because especially when you know that this particular individual has potential.
Yeah.
It's just that they're lost.
Yeah.
They think that that's the new thing when it's not. It's nothing like it. And I'll use myself as an example. I'll go into a room, and when I go into that room, Marley, it's like I own that room. Mm-hmm. Not with just arrogance, it's just with confidence. And women love that because it's nothing like a brother walking into a room and just knowing where he's going in life. Mm-hmm. And when you get that concept down packed, nothing can touch you.
Nothing can touch you.
Nothing can touch you.
Nothing can stop you.
Nothing.
You're all the way up.
We all the way up.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to end this. Is there anything else you'd like to say to the world? They're watching.
Well, definitely. I just hope that we can bring it together as a whole, and not just one race, all races. Mm-hmm. Meaning that we can build our confidence up and be able to love one another, no matter what the media says. It's just a matter of just building confidence and loving who you are. And I think we can go somewhere in life.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you for
We
inviting me.
got to have you back. All right. Thank you guys for staying tuned in to Get in the Know, your show every Monday from 10 to 11. You can catch me next Monday from 10 to 11. And if you have any questions and or concerns, you know how to find me at 313-868-0342.